Hey guys, welcome back to Vanishing Gates. I am your host Jay, and with me always is
the magnanimous Jack. I'm going back to magnanimous.
Who's this one?
Paco.
Yeah, and you'll notice we have a guest. This is Emily.
Hi.
Say hi, Emily.
Hi.
Hi, Emily.
And she's going to do some tarot for us. But first, let's talk about our cigar of the show. And tonight we are smoking Don Choo-Choos. Don Choo-Choos. I didn't name them. I promise.
Is that how it's pronounced?
That's how it's spelled.
I think Dominican. I'm pretty sure it's Don Choo-Choos. So yeah, we're gonna guess that. Or maybe you gotta go Don Choo-Choo. That's how it's done.
It has been a hectic week. We've done a lot of work in the studio. It doesn't seem like it, but just take my word for it, we have. Part of the reason is we are getting closer and closer to that mystical, marvelous, miraculous, most wonderful time of the year. I'm talking, of course, about Halloween.
I'm shocked.
Really? Wonderful
Halloween
of the year. It's a season of miracles, Jack.
Is that? So, it'd be a miracle if you stopped
everyone
talking
get
about
upset
it.
when I say that. But that said, the reason I bring that up is because our dear buddy over there at Cotton Studios, Jason Glenn, is still working on some awesome creations. And you need to check that stuff out and go buy some of his stuff. Check him out, Cotton Studios on Facebook. Yeah,
most definitely, absolutely. When do we get our special on Cotton Studios?
Mine, and I don't know.
No.
Oh, he's not going to share with
all of ours. It is so all
I was going to name it.
You can name it, but as long as you don't...
Steve the Worm.
Steve the Wallworm?
It's going to make people afraid.
So Jason, if you're watching, Steve the Wallworm. That's his name because he's green.
And he needs a home.
Unless you sold it out of dire straits and desperation, in which case make me another one. Alright, so anyway, on to our guest, Emily.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself.
So my name is Emily Castleman. I'm a tarot reader here in Humboldt County. I've been reading tarot for about 20 years. And this last year I started to read professionally. And so I read at some of the local festivals. I read for parties. I have a couple of individual clients. And yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. This is cool. We've never had this before, so
yeah,
all about it. It's something new and exciting. So, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk to her a little bit about her history and stuff and all that, a little more in depth. Talk about what tarot is, how it works, that kind of thing, and then we're gonna do a live reading for you guys in chat if that's what you want to do. So I hope you guys are on it and interested.
And I'm gonna cut in and say, please like, share,
Yeah, I forgot all that
friends,
again. I keep doing that.
Follow.
Like, follow, subscribe. And check out our YouTube channel even after this is over because we're putting more effort into that. So that's going to go places, I think. It's not. But we could. So we'll try. All right. So what got you into tarot in the first place?
So like a lot of people, I started reading tarot just for friends, for fun. Kind of something to do with a couple of close friends. I've always been interested in the occult and looked into witchcraft a little bit when I was younger, and tarot just kind of was the natural progression. And so I would read for friends. I read for myself just about every day. And I started to, over a pattern of time, realize that a lot of good advice and a lot of insight was coming from the cards. And so I started to kind of reach out and read for more and more people as time went on. And here I am now.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about tarot for those who don't know, like myself and definitely Seth, Paco, I mean. So,
Paco.
So tarot is a card game. And it started, we think the origins of tarot started possibly in Egypt. And around the time of the religious movement, cards initially were seen in Catholicism as a tool. And then at some point, we're not quite sure when, we believe that religion wiped out all of tarot games. They made it illegal. They started to associate it with devil worship and witchcraft. And so then the French brought it about again, and it started to gain some popularity in Europe and then moved over into the Western states. And so there's some different theories on how tarot works. My theory is that it works off of energy and intuition from both the reader and the person that's being read to. So personally myself, I take energy from the person, I transfer it to the cards, and then I use my own internal intuition to guide which cards I draw. And then there's an interpretation. And some people interpret cards based off of the artist's and the card creator's vision of what the card means. And then a lot of people like myself do an intuitive reading. So a card could be drawn for you and mean one thing, and then I could draw the card for you and it could mean something totally different, because I'm looking at the story, I'm looking at what intuitively jumps out to me, and then I read that interpretation and create kind of like a story with it.
Okay.
So people use it to predict. It can be called fortune telling. Some people use it to guide decision making, and or to decipher issues that have happened in their past and try to come to terms with some and through healing.
Okay. So it's kind of like a channeling kind of thing mixed with an intuitive kind of thing?
Yeah, it absolutely can be channeling. Some people believe that when you read tarot cards, you're channeling a higher force or a higher energy through the reader, and that is what's guiding the reading. But I'm not 100% sure if that's how it works for me or not. I'm a little bit research-based, and so I have been trying to track some of the readings that I've done and then follow up with the person that I've read to see if the cards, one, helped, if what was predicted came true, and kind of build a database of sorts to kind of to see how it works for me.
It's like the scientific method. I like that.
Like the scientific method. Yeah.
That's a good way to cross over. So there's different kinds of tarot card reading, right? The different ways people do it, the patterns. Is that?
Yeah, so there's things called spreads, and those of you that are familiar with tarot at all know that you can read cards any number of ways. I will either do like a 3-card draw, which is typically like past, present, future, or I'll do like a custom spread. Or what I prefer to do is just pull cards until my intuition tells me to stop, and then I read them like a story. But most tarot readers that you go to and pay for will do like either a 3-card spread, or they'll do like what's called a Celtic cross, which is a more complex, more in-depth reading where each card is placed with a certain topic. Like I might draw this card and it might be in the place it's only going to talk about my subconscious, and then this is going to talk about finances and romance and that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Now, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Does it make it difficult, like, for instance, because I'm a skeptic, so generally I lean towards the side of disbelief. However, I'm open. Do you find it difficult when you get someone who's just closed off, they don't want to believe, and then you get them to sit down and actually do it for a second? Does it make it a little more difficult to understand and read?
It can. I think that skeptics are awesome to read for, because I think that it really tests the tarot reader. And but I would say that even more so than a skeptic, the person that's the hardest to read for are the people that are not connected with themselves. And I'm not sure if being a skeptic means that you're not connected with yourself, or it just means something different. But regardless, people that don't know themselves are the hardest to read for, because I can do a reading and I can say, these are the things that I'm seeing, this is the path that I think you need to take, and I kind of get like a blank look, like I don't know. And then that's my first indicator. And so then my follow-up question is always like, do you know why you make the decisions that you do on a daily basis? Like, are you connected at all with like your decision-making process and then the outcome? And a lot of times they'll be like, well, I don't know. And I think, okay, so we're going to start from like ground zero here. I'm going to give you like 3 things that you're going to do after you leave this reading. And it's going to be research-based. You're going to sit down and you're going to make small decisions for yourself. And then you're going to look at the outcome and you're going to compare. And then you're going to make larger decisions and focus on your outcome and try to connect that part of you that's making decisions with then seeing the outcome of those decisions. And then at that point, we can come back and do a reading. But you have to have some connectedness with yourself in order for a reading to be, I think, valid.
That makes sense.
Sun Tzu said it best. It was, I can't remember what the statement is. It's like, know yourself and know your enemy and win. But if you know not yourself, then you will lose.
Yes. You will always lose.
Where does he come up with this? He acts like a dolt, like 90% of the time, and then he starts quoting Sun Tzu.
That wasn't the whole quote, but I can't remember the whole quote off the top of my head.
I mean,
I don't read a lot of Chinese literature, so I've only read The Romance of the Three Kingdoms. That's all I've read in that regard.
You seriously got all that from a fiction novel. Okay. So, the cards, like, is there a specific fashion? I know you brought a deck with you. Are there different decks that do different things or mean different things? Because, like you said, the artist interpretation, so there's one that you prefer?
Yes. So, I have a lot of decks, and I use decks for specific people. So, I have, like, and this is for Christopher Ortiz there. I have the 80s New Wave deck, which is amazing, by the way. Lele. I also have the Rider-Waite deck, and then there's also the Thoth deck. And decks come with a certain energy. So you might have a deck that is inherently dark. And every card that you draw is always going to have a dark aspect to it. Or you have like the Fairy Tarot, where every card that you draw is going to have more of like a childlike, magical meaning to it. And so if someone was to come to me and say, you know, I really want to explore the darker side of myself, my shadow self, I don't necessarily think I would pull out my fairy deck. I would pull out maybe the Thoth deck, or I would pull out a deck that had a little bit more darkness and subconscious substance to it. Okay. So my favorite deck right now is this deck, and it's the Gilded Tarot. And I'm not sure if that's up yet, but
let's move that out, Lisa.
You can kind of.
I'll pull that up for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know when he's gonna actually get it.
And it's a beautiful deck. I got it in Canada a few weeks ago from a really super cool witchy woman that told me that this was the deck she saw me using. And she was totally correct. Like, the pictures really speak to me. And certain people, certain readers will be drawn to certain decks. And it really just depends on the reader. When you look at a card, is it easy to read? You have to sit there and really think, you know, what the hell does this card mean? I'm not connecting with it at all. Or do you look at a card and say, oh my gosh, okay, I can see that this guy is, you know, a risk taker and he's out to have fun. And I can see a story when I look at the card. And I think that that's really important for anybody that's interested in reading tarot and is a first-time tarot reader. You know, really, when you go to the stores, really take time to look at the pictures on the cards. And the stores, if they're a good store, they'll open up the card box for you and let you look at the pictures, so that you can kind of get a sense of whether or not the card is something that you're going to be able to read. And I would recommend starting out with like the Radiant Rider-Waite deck, which is the kind of the OG deck. It's the deck that a lot of like more modern tarot decks are based off of. But the Radiant Rider-Waite deck is a little bit more detailed. It's got brighter colors, and it's a much easier deck to start out with.
That leads me to my next question.
Okay, sir. Yes.
Do you believe in the theory no one is allowed to handle or use your personal deck? Like, you're not supposed to use it or handle it, I believe. Like, it taints it, I believe, is what the theory is behind it?
Yeah. So I didn't start out that way, but I've kind of become a little territorial over my deck. So I guess you would say I do believe that. I don't know why, but there is something in me that feels like in order for these cards to really be connected with my intuition, my energy should be the only energy on those cards. And I do believe that people's energy leave imprints. Like, if you believe in haunted items, you know, energy can these are all permeable things, right? So energy is constantly transferring and changing and going in between me and the eyeballs in the jar and all that stuff. And so if that theory is correct, then these cards are absorbing energy, and I would like for them to only be my energy.
Well, that makes sense, because if you think about it, guys, here's a simple test to prove what she's saying. Take your hand and put it on any cold surface and just leave it there for a little while. Then take your other hand after you lift that hand off and touch it, and you'll see that the heat is transferred. It's simple science. It's there. The energy exists. You hear about like these repeated hauntings that go over and over. Then I have a working theory that a lot of that is just replaced memory going over and over and over until it eventually fades or doesn't.
So it's kind of like if someone with a more negative aspect, or somebody like me who's like supremely skeptical, like mess with it, or handle someone else's tarot cards and was trying to read with it or did anything with it, they can wind up leaving something behind on the cards or the deck itself that basically just messes with your energy while trying to read.
And that is just science. Like, that is absolutely 100% plausible. I mean, if you would all believe in energy transference, then that is absolutely possible.
So what if you're in a bad mood? Like, what if you're having a bad mood?
And I am often in a bad mood.
You actually don't seem like you get that way very often, I'm sure. But I just mean in general, though, like, would that would affect your...
Yes, absolutely. I have to be really careful about my energy and where I'm at when I do a reading. I do best, I've found, when I read outside. That tends to be where I'm the most grounded. But yeah, if I have anxious energy or if I'm feeling sad or bad, absolutely that energy can be muted. So my ability to interpret or to read could be swayed by my own feeling or energy. And I think that it can impact. Unless the person that I'm reading for has super intense focused energy that they're transferring into the situation, in those instances, I feel like their energy might come through more intense than mine. But I have done readings where I was like, oh shit, or excuse my language.
That's right.
This is
You're good.
I've done worse 36 times.
We all grown-ups here.
like,
we're a grown-up show. So
yeah, okay. We're like, oh man, this reading is gonna be rough because I am just not feeling it. So, yeah.
I kind of understand what you say when you come from like nature itself, because most humans find themselves really relaxed out in in the wilderness or close to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a natural instinct for us. We feel safer with some of us feel safer in like that closed environment, closer to like. I enjoy being out in the woods. Like, I don't know why. Like, they want to take me out hunting. I don't enjoy it at night. I don't enjoy it at night at all. But when it's during the day, I feel really calm and relaxed out there. Like, I don't know, like everything else is gone and I'm just here in the moment. And no longer having to worry about all the crap on the outside.
So we have a question in chat for you. Do you use crystals at all to help you keep your energy even?
I do. And when I do festivals where I'm doing a lot of readings one after the next, I have a practice in between each reading where I'll rub some of my crystals, and then I also cleanse the space with either like eucalyptus oil or I'll burn sage. I'm not a huge crystal heavy reader. Maybe further on down the road I'll get more into it, but so far I found that just doing it the way I do it seems to work best for me, and it keeps it simple. I would love to get tarot into more of the mainstream field. It seems to be, I have a very limited pool of people that are interested in tarot, and I think the more heavy you get into the ritual of it, it sometimes freaks people out. And so to try to make this available for all people, not just people that are occult, like occult people like that live in the occult lifestyle,
occultists.
The occultists. Then
band.
Yeah, right, that's a good band. Then I leave it. Oh, I kind of lost my train of thought, but
so I have that effect on people.
It's the Humboldt lifestyle. the less ritualistic it gets, the more open the more available it feels like. More people from all different styles are, I think, more willing to come up and read with me.
Yeah, so you don't go into all the dressing and the shawls and all the perfume. Like a lot of people put on a show, and the problem with that is, I have to say, is I would get intimidated by looking at like, I don't know if I'm gonna go in there because it feels like they're doing too much. Like they're not focused on the art; they're focused on the display of the show.
I mean, I could see incense burning.
There was actually one more question.
I do burn incense sometimes.
There was one more question we missed, which was Kurt. I don't know which one of the Kurts it was, but he asked where they could go to get a reading.
Oh,
right here
for me.
Well, yeah.
So
for you.
So I have a Facebook page, Mystic Rose Tarot,
which we will be sharing, by the way. I forgot to do that today. So we're gonna go.
Thank you very much. Not good promoting my business, guys. And I can, if you're local, we can meet up and I can do a reading face to face, which is my favorite. But you can message me and we can also do a FaceTime. Or an email. Some people prefer like no face, just read the cards and give me the info. We can do it by email or something like that. And I can take pictures of the cards and send them to you. But go to the Mystic Rose Tarot page and contact me and we'll set something up.
Definitely do that.
You won't regret it.
I can totally see you just doing live stream tarot readings on Facebook Live.
I'll just show up every Saturday here. I'll just randomly
I just mean
show
on your
up
Facebook page. That'd be awesome. Yeah, just on your page. You can do it right from there, just like we're going to do tonight. So that said, we're going to do that tonight. So do they just ask questions? Is that how we go about this?
Yes. So if you're interested in doing a live reading now, because I don't have you face to face, the easiest way for me is to give me a question and then I will do the reading for you here. But and when you're asking the question, really think about what you're asking. The cards are going to know what you really, well, I shouldn't say that because you're not here. If you were face to face, I could say the cards are going to know what you want to ask. But because you're not here and I don't have your energy to put on here, you need to think about what you're asking. So if you want to know, like, is my boyfriend cheating on me? It's like, is that what you really want to know? Or do you really want to know, like, is this the right relationship for me? Or what would happen if I stayed in this relationship? That kind of a thing, if that makes sense.
Curtis asked what the page was again. Let's get it out there one more time.
Mystic Rose Tarot.
And again, we'll link that to the page. So after
the
show's done, I have been announcing it for a couple of weeks now on air every time we do a show.
He really has.
I just forgot about linking the page. I usually am much faster.
Who's going to be the one that does it from here?
Who's
going to me?
I want to read you guys.
Me?
Not me. I'm good.
Are
you guys really gonna?
I'm good. I grew
up in a household where my mother did this all the time.
Why am I always the guinea pig when it comes to everything?
That's not true. I know the Ouija board.
Hold on. I know exactly
he didn't play with the Ouija board. He didn't play with it. You know what? I will do it for the team.
I know what will happen in this though.
Right? I will do it.
I know Bridget and Aaron are immediately going to be like, make Jack do it because he is the most skeptical and he's afraid of everything.
I think we really should. I think we really should.
I get cornered.
Okay, so my thing is, I just don't want to know. Like, I
just don't know. I really just don't know what to ask.
That's fine.
I mean, that's something. You know what I mean. That's like that's really
think about it for a minute because we do have a question in chat.
Bridget says Paco anyway, so thanks, Bridget.
For me,
Thanks, Bridget.
Thanks.
So for me, I left a relationship that was very toxic. So
Layla. I know Christopher too.
Oh, okay, good.
So, Layla, are you wanting to know what's the next step with starting a relationship? Do you want to know what your strengths are in a relationship? I'm curious about my future. Okay, so future and relationships. I should have known. All right,
I think the camera's at a weird angle to show the.
No, she just has the.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just shuffling the deck, and then just give me a second here to kind of focus in on Layla's question. And so reading tarot for me, my intuitive psychic energy is kind of visceral, which means that you can see it. So it looks kind of ridiculous, but when I get to the card that I'm supposed to choose, I have like this fireball. It feels like in my solar plexus, and it kind of comes up, and then my hand shakes and it taps the card really hard and lets me know which card I'm supposed to choose. So it looks kind of silly, but it is the way it is. So okay. So I'm going to just pick the cards and then I'll lay them out here so that you can see it. Let me just see if there's anything else that's popping up. Mm-hmm. All right. So Chris, we have three cards that have come up for you. We have the Justice card in reverse, we have the 10 of Wands, and we have the 2 of Wands. So there's a lot of energy surrounding your relationships. The Justice card is in reverse, which to me is, for you in particular, I think it's karma. I think that you probably have had relationships where you've given a lot, but then you've also taken a lot. And so that is coming out in the relationships that you have now. And the 10 of Wands is, and I don't know if you can kind of see it, but it's this man and he's holding all of these wands on his back. And what I see from that is I see someone that's carrying a lot of baggage. So someone that might be carrying around baggage from previous relationships. And one of the things that I tell people is when the 10 of Wands comes up, one of the first things you need to do is you need to sit down and you need to figure out what the hell you're carrying around with you and what you need to keep and what you need to get rid of. If there's certain baggage that's serving you well, then hold on to it. But if there's baggage that is not serving you anymore, that you're just carrying around for the sake of carrying it around, you need to let that go, because that baggage gets carried into every relationship and impacts it. And then we also have the 2 of Wands. And I mean, this is a pretty clear card. You have someone that's at a crossroads, right? At a fork in the road. And they both have wands in them, and they both lead to kind of a serene, beautiful landscape. There's lots of bright colors in the background, but the paths both lead to 2 different places. So you have one path over here that's got like a very large mountain, but then there's birds flying above it, which tells me that this might be a harder path, but it's going to lead to higher reward. And then, or you can take the easier path and it'll lead to a reward, but less of reward. So you're the only one that can make that choice. You know, do you want to take the harder path with the outcome of having a greater reward, or do you want to take the easier path and have a less reward? So I hope that helps. Oh yes, the 2 of Wands is exactly where I'm at. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, totally.
That's cool.
2 of Wands. Yeah. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah. Bridget wants to know how the first year of medical school is going to go for her.
Bridget, medical school. That's
amazing.
Our
buddy Bridget.
All right.
Good for you, girl.
On, Bridget.
You guys know what that means,
Bridget.
right? When she graduates, we get free medical work. Yes! Vanishing Gates.
The Vanishing Gates. What is it? I don't remember what a doctor that takes care of someone. Like our own doctor.
Focus.
Sometimes it's hard to tell which one it's running. Yeah, there we go. It's a sign. Okay, so Bridget, sometimes we get what's called free flyers, and they're cards that either will fall out of the deck when you're shuffling or when you're picking decks or picking cards. But in this case, which is like it's never happened to me before, I actually had 2 cards that were already face up. And that's strange because I usually always check my cards to make sure that there's none facing up. But these 2 were. So to me, that's a clear indicator that these have to be read for you. So I'm just going to take a second to kind of look at them and get a sense of what story this is saying here. So we have, again, a lot of wands, so a lot of energy. We have the Sun card in reverse. We have the 8 of Wands. We have the 5 of Wands, and we have the 4 of Wands. So what I see is a lot of outgoing energy, a lot of energy invested. I think that there's going to be some struggle perhaps in the first year of medical school. You may come head to head with some other students in your cohort, maybe differing ideas, different ways of practicing, maybe different theories. And I think that's probably natural in the beginning. We have the 4 of Wands as the last card, which really informs me that it's going to be highly successful, and it's going to provide some stability. And also bring, I don't know if you have a family yet or if you're planning on having a family, but if there's some sort of a family union that's going to come from this first year of medical school. And then we also have the Sun in reverse. And the Sun is a major arcana card. So there's 2 different types of cards in a deck. You have the major arcana cards, which are like the Sun, the Devil, Death, the Fool, and then you have the minor arcana cards, which are like the King, Queen, Page, Knight, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so whenever a major arcana card shows up, I really take note of that. And in your particular reading, it stands out a little bit more to me. And the Sun is like the complete positive, happy, like things are going great, your ego's happy, things are moving well. But this is in reverse. So this tells me that you want to be really careful in this first year to not let your ego maybe get too out of control, because I think that that'll take you out of, like, if you because you need to be really grounded, right, when you're in school, and you need to be focused and learning, and so your ego will keep you from that. So just make sure that even if you walk into that first year of school and you're like, oh man, I got this, like I know this stuff already, I know where I want to go, I know what kind of medical professional I want to be, put a little helmet on it, put it in a little padded room, let the ego run around for a little bit, and then recenter yourself so that you can stay focused and humble. But I feel like it's going to go really well.
And her sister says she's getting married this coming year. What an announcement that is.
Legit.
Well, we're batting 100% so far. That's good. I like this. All right, we have, is that it for Bridgets?
Yeah, and so let me just show Bridget, like, look. So there's the little picture of the family, the husband and the wife, and then the little child. So there you go.
Oh, and if it's a boy, you're going to name it Jay, right? The zing.
If it's a girl, you name it Jack,
all right, so this is Christy. Want to know if I'm making the right choice in my relationship.
This is Christy. I want to know if I'm making the right choice in my relationship. Okay, Clarence. I know Christy too. I call her Clarence. That's a name from a long time. Clarence is the best name. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know what choice you're making in your relationship right now, so this is going to be interesting, but you better text me later because I want to know what's going on. Oh, friend. Okay. So,
that's not a good sound.
No, I think this is actually perfect because I think, so what card got pulled up was the Two of Cups. And as you can see, it's a little blonde girl and a brown-haired girl. And what that tells me is that I should not be doing this reading over the dang internet right now. And you should be calling me later, and we'll talk about it over the phone, okay? And what's great is that this is my best friend, and she has brown hair and I have blonde hair.
I just want to point out how hard the universe slammed that phone down. I'm not trying to be a downer, but I'm a pragmatic person. And I can probably tell you what's going on in your relationship just based on what her card says. I don't even read tarot cards. I don't know you. I don't know whoever you're with, but you're probably not going to be there much longer. Love you. Don't hate me. If I'm right, she needs to let me know. Not yet, though. Not on air.
So we'll do that reading in private.
Yeah.
Okay. So anybody else? No kids till graduation.
Bridget gets pregnant on her wedding night. Spoiler alerts.
Okay.
Batting right here. All right. Who's got the next question up in chat?
Come on.
Okay, give your mom. Oh boy. What is it? A health reading. Can you do that?
Can you give your mom a reading for health?
Okay. Gosh, guys. Y'all can just talk to me anytime. You didn't have to wait for me to get on Facebook. All right. So, mom. Health reading, huh? I'll laugh if the Two of Cups comes up again. Oh, Mom, the death card. Never a good sign on a health rating.
Yeah, that's
what it said.
Guys, 100% the spoilers. We're all going to eventually. Guys, don't take it that way.
I don't know if I really want
I don't know that the card actually means that, but this is why I don't want to know.
I don't know if I want to ask a question.
That's what I'm making you do it.
Okay, so we have the death card in reverse, and we have the Page of Swords, Mom. So the death card sometimes does mean literally death, but most often it means transformation, changing from something to something else. And so if I was to read this in regards to health, I would say there is going to be some sort of a major change, some sort of a transformation. I don't know what that is. I'm not really sure what's going on with you right now, but I would say that you probably do want to get some sort of a checkup, I would imagine, because something is changing within you. It could be menopause, let's be honest, but we don't know. We don't know. And then we also have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is a beautiful card. It's actually one of my favorites because it really speaks to youth and vitality, and there, I mean, and look at this beautiful person. He's an artist, or she's an artist, kind of a unisex person, but they're dressed in artist garb, and they have the sword, but they're not fighting. So it's almost like, you know, you might want to be ready for a fight. Maybe you're going to have to fight for the proper health care, the proper health treatment, but it's not going to be, you're not going to have to go very far. You just got to kind of like make sure that you advocate for yourself, and yeah. But also, again, maybe we should talk after. You know.
Hold on, I have a soundbite for this. Let me remember where it's at. No, that's not it. There it is. Boom. They just seemed appropriate. Erin wants to know how the fall is going to go for her.
The fall?
Yeah,
like
fall.
Autumn? Okay. All right. Let's see here.
And guys in chat, I'm just asking these in the order that I see them, so I'll get to you. Remember, there's a delay on our end, so or your end.
Okay, Aaron, how was the fog? So we've got the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Three of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and the Ten of Cups.
He's gonna have one heck of a busy fall.
Woo! I know, right?
So many reverse.
So many reversed. Okay, so let's see what I'm getting here. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that you're going to need to connect with this fall. You know, I'm not to like be the person who like reads the last chapter of a story first, but I do want you to know that regardless of what this all says, that the fall is going to be a great time for you. It's going to be a time of seeing fruits of your labor. It's going to be about being with family or friends, and it will be a celebratory time. But there's things that you're going to need to do. There's aspects of your life that need a little work. One of that is the people that you surround yourself around. This might be a time to clean house, so to speak, looking at the people that you spend a lot of time with and determine who should stay and who should go. And the reason I say that is because we have the Seven of Swords here, and we have the Three of Cups. And the Seven of Swords is typically a card that comes up when someone is stealing from you. And for example, I had a deck, my first deck, I had it for about 16 years, moved up to Humboldt. The deck disappeared, and all that was left was the Seven of Swords. And when I took that to a reader, she said, well, someone stole your deck. And that was it. So this card is about stealing, but this card is about celebration with friends or sisters, if you have sisters. So you need to reevaluate, celebrate with the ones that are really close to you, that know you, that will help empower you.
Like us.
Yeah, maybe it's these three guys that are in the cups. Maybe this is the female version of them. And this card tells me that there are people in your life that you shouldn't have in your life. So take an evaluation of that. We also have the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is an interesting card because there's a little person here. They're kind of like drawing or putting together this pentacle, and it looks like they've made like 7 pentacles already. So to me, it's like repetition. So and then they're super hyper focused, right? So maybe looking at focusing in on something, maybe looking at where your patterns are, what things you keep doing over and over and over again, and maybe trying to look at what lessons you're having to learn over and over again, and focusing in on one thing, especially if you feel kind of scattered. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is a beautiful card. And so she's got, you know, all the pentacles around her. She's in a beautiful dress and she's outside and she's with the birds and butterflies, and it's all wonderful, beautiful. So but then it's in reversed. So you want to focus on, if I was reading this for myself, I would say focus on being outside, focus on grounding. So I would say that the fall is going to be an amazing time for you once you kind of figure out who should stay and who should go. And then also when you focus in on one particular thing, take notice of your patterns and spend some time outside.
There's one before that. I got it.
I know the next one.
Oh. That's awesome. So yeah, it's because Bridget's her sister.
Well, I just want to point out,
so
the repetition of watching the show doesn't mean you stop watching the show. And the people you need to get out of your life is not us.
The irony was, I was going to say that's probably us. All right, so in chat, M wants to know if things are going to change for her.
M wants to know if things are going to change for her.
Very vague.
Yeah, that is pretty. I mean, is there something in specific?
That I know M, and that just, it's exactly what it sounds like. So.
Okay. Okay.
Let's just generalize happiness. How about that?
All right, let's see. Nine of Pentacles again. Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so ooh, girl, there is a lot of financial, a lot of earthly stuff, material stuff that's going to that's really focused in on you right now. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, the World card, Major Arcana, and then we have the Seven of Pentacles. And whenever I do a reading and there's a primary hit of one type of card, then this Major Arcana card that I'm going to put up above it just kind of like intensifies everything else. So I would say, I was reading this for myself, that I would, I think that, I don't know if anything in specific is going to change. I'm not seeing a lot of movement or change here. What I am seeing is someone that enjoys the finer things in life, but maybe has a little bit of a struggle connecting with the finances to do all of the things that that person wants to do. The World card is, in this particular reading, I'm almost feeling like it's something that's beyond your control. It's not anything that you're going to be able to change. You're kind of in a spot right now that the universe wants you to be in. And I think that it wants you to look a little bit bigger picture. So if you are super hyper focused on your finances and on what you can do for yourself or maybe your family, you might want to kind of step back a little bit and look bigger picture. Is there something that you're missing? Are you so focused on right now that you're not realizing, excuse me, are you not realizing the bigger side of what's going on? Now, if I were you, I would contact me on Facebook, because I feel like there's a little bit more in depth that I think that we could get with the cards, and maybe focus in on specific things, to maybe, especially to maybe pull you a little bit away from this hyper focus into the material world, and maybe give you a broader sense of the other parts of your personality and the other parts of your life that need attention from you, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, Em. It's a vague answer for a vague question, Em. I'm really sorry.
So, Jack, if that made sense, raise your hands. Yeah, no, that was actually pretty accurate, I think.
I don't want to get killed, so let's go.
Now is Em...
That's my mother. And you are absolutely correct.
Sorry, Mom.
You know what, though? It's therapeutic. It helps. Because she reads tarot. She's been doing it for my whole damn life.
Right.
She reads runes and stuff. But I don't know that you can read your own and get an accurate...
It's hard
because you're focusing on what you want sometimes, or what you think is going to be the answer.
Yeah, that's totally what you want.
That's what I'm saying. And so, Em, we're going to put you in touch, and
that would be fun. Hey. Maybe Em can read my cards too. We could do like a
trade-off.
Like a trade-off. That would be really cool.
I don't know. Do you still do tarot there, Em, in chat, Mother? Mother dearest. I know there's
a 30-second delay.
I'm so used to instant gratification.
She has to type too, you know.
This is
2017, man. Okay, that's
apparently I need to stop abusing my nephew, who is currently.
I wasn't sure about that one. I was like, we're getting heavy right now.
No,
he's my nephew who likes.
He could actually probably beat him up.
I think the abuse will start tonight. Actually, is what's going to happen.
Oh look, she's gonna get her deck out. She hasn't done it.
Nice. Oh, that would be amazing. That would be really, really cool.
So, Em, we're gonna put you guys in touch. Okay, we have another question. This is Annika.
Hello, Clarence.
Okay, I need to talk to you later. I'm wondering how school is going to be for me since I'm now a freshman.
Oh, okay. So
that's a good question.
How
is school going to be for me now that I am a freshman?
Well, I don't need to read tarot cards to tell you. It's going to be.
Congrats on
It's going to be a lot of fun.
School. It's going to be annoying.
There's a lot of scholars in chat tonight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm liking this.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Annika. We have the Eight of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, the Empress, and the Three of Wands. So, okay, so freshman is going to be a lot of work. You're going to have to work really, really hard. You're also going to have to start focusing in on some of these really good ideas that you've got. I think that you sometimes block yourself from your true potential. I have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles is like, oh, that great idea, something that needs to have action taken. You haven't taken action yet, but you should. And since this is in reverse, I'm reading it as you have a great idea that you're not acting on, that you're almost refusing to act on. And so I would say that this freshman year, you'll mature a little bit more and connect a little bit more with yourself and start to trust yourself. The Empress card shows me that, I mean, in this particular card, it almost seems like you're going to connect with a mother-like figure. Maybe it's going to be one of your teachers. Maybe it's going to be an upperclassman. But this freshman year, someone is going to kind of step into your life like an older sister or a motherly figure. And then we have the reverse 3 of Wands, which is... it's like expansion. It's like, you know, taking your idea and acting on it to the next level. So if you were starting like a club at school or something like that, you would have the idea, you would take some steps, and then you would expand it out and try to build the people that you have in your group. And this is in reverse. So I'm thinking that you may need to focus not so much on the social, focus not so much on expanding your group of friends perhaps, but focus in on just a few close ones and focus on your education. And I think that you will be very successful, but really look out for this person here. I'm going to show you the picture in case it ends up looking a lot like that person in the end. This person's going to be incredibly helpful for you and will probably help guide you through your first year of high school. So yeah, look for them.
And we gingers are very good at that kind of thing.
Real? Is that true? You guys are like, oh,
no, we're horrible.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I'm totally a good influence. Don't worry. I promise. Don't look at me for help. Anyway, that's awesome. Okay, so that was pretty legit. Guys,
it's pretty legit.
What we need from you, though, all of you, let me know how these things work out,
yes.
Your readings, because I want updates. Some of these were obviously right out of the gate, made perfect sense for the reading. That's freaking cool, because I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a first for the show, absolutely.
Yeah, it truly is.
We've got to get you back on the show again.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Are you down to keep coming on the show?
Yes, totally, guys.
That's so freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And then we got one more reading to do, though. Before we end it. Oh, yeah, I know you're doing it.
Before we get there, please like, share, and follow the page and the
Yes.
stream.
Yes.
And don't forget to visit Mystic Rose Tarot. I get it right?
Yes, Mystic Rose
Like
Tarot.
and follow.
Definitely.
And tell her Vanishing Gates sent you. Not that she won't know, because the card
There's a
will
sudden
tell her.
upsurgence.
Certain of it. Yeah, all 10 people that watch our show?
Yes, all 10 of you should go like and follow now.
Kidding. It's a little more than that. But yeah, no, like, follow, subscribe. Check out our YouTube channel, because I'm putting a lot more work in. If you guys have noticed, I've updated the page quite a bit. And we'll get to all that after Paco's reading. Paco, what's your question?
You know, I really don't know what to ask here. But I guess I'm just gonna kind of go with the newest thing that's in my life, and you know, the whole Ouija board thing, and we made fun of it and everything. You know, while we did the episode, we weren't really serious.
Make fun of it. Are you gonna be serious now?
I'm of course. I'm actually gonna do a serious question and everything. So I'm pursuing a new relationship, and there is a bit of a complication within the relationship, and I just kind of want to know if it's something that that I should keep on pursuing the way that I have been.
Okay. So because you're face to face, I'm gonna do my energy thing.
Okay.
Okay. Because this is the best way for me to do it, in all honesty. So, is it okay if I touch your hand?
Sure.
Okay. So your other hand.
Oh, my other hand.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna hold it here for a few seconds and get your energy for the card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so sometimes I see things when I touch people's hands, and when I when I touched your hand, I saw pizza.
I thought you were touching my hand, but that's
Okay, something happened here, and I don't know, because this is a reaction from something.
Pizza? I love pizza. I mean, what's wrong with pizza?
We're both probably thinking about pizza right now.
You know,
You're just gonna dance around the question.
What's with pizza?
Something's gonna happen with pizza.
Something's gonna happen with
It's
pizza.
gonna be a pizza shortage and you're gonna cry. The
That's
next card's gonna be death. Watch.
Dude, hey,
Your relationship should be with pizza. All right, seriously.
And I saw grasshoppers.
And grasshopper. Pizza
Yeah.
and grasshopper.
Pizza and grasshoppers.
I mean, that sounds pretty. It sounds like
I can't
a
speak to
wonderful
it.
time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, open field, grasshoppers.
Drinking grasshoppers and pizza.
Drinking-
You know what I mean?
Maybe you need to have like grasshopper pizza. I don't know.
They have chocolate covered grasshoppers, don't they?
They do.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so.
No, Aaron, she's not Italian.
I am Italian.
No,
I'm
no,
Italian.
Oh, you're Italian.
No.
The girl that he's talking about.
Oh,
What's
she's not
Aaron's question?
Italian. She's not Italian. Huh? That's too bad.
No, it was a pizza joke.
Oh, I didn't get it.
That's why I didn't acknowledge it.
Oh. All right. Okay. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the World, we have the Ten of Swords, we have the Seven of Swords reversed, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. So let me just kind of look at this here for a minute and see what I'm getting here.
Let's mark one of these up for the reading.
Okay. So I don't know you, or I don't know this girl. I don't know what the relationship is like in any way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm seeing a couple of things here. I see the Nine of Pentacles, and the way I'm reading this is that you're like a protector. I think that, and not that you're territorial, but I think that you can be a very loyal person. And when you do get into a relationship, one of the things that's very important to you is feeling like you are protecting your family and the people that you love. The World card, I'm reading different in this reading than I've read in the past. I'm actually focused more on this girl, and maybe it's this girl that you're in a relationship with. I don't know if she's a dancer or if she really enjoys dancing, but private dancer.
Her whole family dances. She salsa dances like almost every single day.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's like her whole thing is like she is a dancer, like full-heartedly. She's a dancer.
Okay. So
I didn't know that.
Wow.
So
We see him every few days.
wow.
How did I do this for
Good
you guys?
for
I'm sorry.
her.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Why
Actually,
why are you
okay,
salsa dancing?
so
from us, man?
see, like, because I actually contacted Jessica, and I'm actually gonna take salsa dancing lessons myself.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So so then there's that.
stand
So
back further, tiny dancer.
the one of the issues in the relationship right now seems to be a victimization. Someone feeling like they're gonna get stabbed in the back at any time, but they're not. It's all in their head. This person is laying on the ground, like waiting for the daggers to stab them in the back, but then they like never do. They just kind of like hover there. And I mean, there's like even a little baby deer next to him, like you know, everything's fine. Like, why are you laying there? But he still is like, laid out. So
Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at me like that?
And then we have this 7 of Swords in reverse, and I feel like there's also a component in this relationship where someone has been taken advantage of, and they're concerned that they're going to be taken advantage of again. So you have two parallel issues there, right? And they're both in your heads. They're either things that have happened in the past that don't apply to what's going on anymore now because they're not the same relationship. This is a new relationship, but somehow they're still impacting. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So the solution to the problem is very simple. There needs to be an indulgence in each other. There needs to be an overindulgence in order to heal from the damage or the fear of taking more damage. You almost need to overcompensate. So in order to gain trust, both of you need to like give more in this relationship than you've ever given. If you used to give a rose to your ex-girlfriends, give a dozen roses. If, I think you saying that you're going to take dance lessons is awesome. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to put yourself out there and give more than you've ever given. And so should she, because that will help you trust each other. I mean, think of how wonderful that's going to be for her if you are in dance classes with her. That's going to tell her that you care about what's
I'm not ending with her. She already knows how to dance.
Well,
I'm doing it separately.
So you take a move.
Wow.
Yeah, getting crazy in here.
Because I built this thing really weakly.
This is a sign of this not paranormal.
It's not paranormal. I threw a bunch of crap together with some screws and some bolts.
It's never fallen over before.
It has.
Yes, it has actually.
Usually forward though.
So, not that you have to be in the classes with her, but what it tells her is that you are taking what she finds important and you're finding importance in that. And that is a huge gift. It feels good as a woman when your sweetie pie says, I know this is important to you, so I'm going to make it important to me. So it's something that we can do together. That's really cool. So good for you. I would say continue doing things like that and let her know, continue to, if you already are, to tell her what's important to you and encourage her to be a part of that so that you guys can build this foundation. And then that way, when the romance and the sweet, like, oh, the ooey gooey stuff goes away, what you have left is this buddy, this really great friend that that you do stuff with. And that'll hold and that'll keep the relationship going once the romance piece of it goes away.
You don't know how to dance, Jay. What is this?
I know how to dance.
You guys have a great relationship, though. It's just building up and becoming more and more solid every day.
I'm pretty sure he's not my type. So first of all, Paco, what do you think, buddy? How's that?
I do have a question, though, about that reading.
Okay.
So essentially what it is he needs to, if he has any hesitance, just dive in. Just go into the deep end. Don't even wait.
Yeah.
Essentially, just jump.
I would say, yes. I would say that to level that out a little bit so that it's not too extreme. Like that doesn't mean that everything that comes around you're like, I'm not even thinking about it, I'm just going to do it. Right. But rather like whatever you're doing for her, do it even more. Like indulge this relationship, really give everything that you've got, and she should do the same. So it doesn't mean you have to do everything, but what you are going to do, really give it to her. Like put it, sorry.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we like it too. What's important to a healthy relationship?
Sure, put in time.
Eventually, it's not, I mean, just give it
I'm not there. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay.
You know what? I will ask real quick for the fans because I'm really interested actually now to see what my future would say.
Are you going to do it?
I will go ahead, since I'm sure the fans wouldn't mind another one of these. I'm going to go ahead and jump in.
Fans, like that's a thing. I mean, the viewers.
Viewers.
Disclaimer here, I have nothing to do with whatever he's getting into because this is unlike him completely, as you probably know by now, even though he's a skeptic. This is weird for him to do this, and this has been super accurate, it seems like, tonight's show.
The hesitance is intense.
I'm just gonna sit back.
All right, I'm gonna make this really special.
Crack
We're
a
gonna
really.
I'm gonna
make this
enjoy
really
this.
My
special.
single biggest
this.
My
Yeah.
single largest stress in life
This will not be
is
quick.
in one direction.
Oh, dude,
gotta
it's
enjoy
going off the
this.
chain right now, dude. It's like back-to-back big comments right now. Like they are so about this.
This is
Yeah,
great.
So, is there like a specific area of your life that you want to focus in on?
It's mostly just the financial area, like how my
Okay.
future goes, like will I be successful in anything I pursue in the future,
Okay.
and whether or not I should maybe change course in something.
Okay.
But mostly just where where I'll be is kind of what I like to know.
Okay.
I'm good at getting to that end. It's just a matter of whether or not the end, the ends justify the means in the first place.
Okay. So, do you mind if I touch your hand?
Oh yes.
The other hand?
Other hand.
So, just because it's fun. I don't always tell people what I see because sometimes I'm like, that doesn't make any damn sense. But I just because it's fun and who knows if it means anything to you. But I saw a sparrow and I saw like a large body of water and a boat.
A sparrow as in a bird, or a sparrow as in like the destiny.
So my
bike.
As in a bird.
I have a better answer for this. Do I perhaps run the black pearl? Actually, that does do something. I love the ocean.
Is that a Pirates of the Caribbean joke?
Yes,
Yes.
it was.
It was. It
Okay.
really was.
Okay.
Oh my
I'll let
God.
pass.
Jack.
You guys just got that?
I did not put that in there. I just realized.
Oh, dude, that's what
I looked. I was like, oh my God, Bridget just said it.
Oh, I feel super cheesy right now. I did not make that. I like that literally.
Nobody would. I don't think you would ever try to make that.
I know, and I should have.
Right?
Pirates make good money.
This probably means I'm gonna wind up being forced to watch that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so.
Okay, so here we go.
I like that though. He's successful.
He is successful. He's very
That's right.
clever.
Aaron just said pirates make good money.
Wow, that Queen of Pentacles keeps coming up. Oh, geez, Louise. Okay.
Oh, Aaron had a lot of cards. Jeez, man.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Jeez, Louise. Okay. My gosh. Got a lot of energy in you, buddy.
It's because he never lets it out.
You gotta work on that.
I'm
You
trying
gotta
to
work on that.
You're gonna release that sometime.
Step one. Find a release.
What he was, for the record, guys, what he was doing, I can tell he was trying to focus as much attention on the reading as he could. Because that's the kind of guy that he is, even though he doesn't normally ask.
Even though I don't necessarily believe in it, I was giving everything that I thought that would be best, like open myself. I was just relaxing.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So, let me just take a moment here to kind of get a sense of what is going on. Find my little story here. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, and to me that signifies you. And then, did I hear you correctly that you're married? Okay, so this is you and your wife. Okay, and you are both, and that makes sense because you're both very concerned about the financial matters for your family, and this is something that's very important, clearly, for both of you. So, that's that. Simple, easy. Okay. One of the things that you need to understand about yourself is you have a tendency, I probably believe, to be like the knight in shining armor, kind of like I've saved the day and I've done I've done the best and now I get to show my family that I've done really great and that's not anything that you necessarily need to change, but I think it's good to recognize that that is something that's really important for you, is to be recognized for doing good and recognized for the hard work that you put in to your life and your family, and that you've come a long way. And the death card is a symbol in this particular reading that something drastic needs to stop. Like there needs to be an end to something here. Something needs to change. You need to probably evaluate what you're doing and decide that you're going to stop that and do something different. And so if we're looking at this as a career move, whatever it is that you're doing now as a career, and I don't know if you told me earlier, I can't exactly remember, but that career that you're in is not the right path for you. And this might, I don't know if you're going to like what I'm getting ready to tell you, but the path that actually you're destined for is that of a helper, like of giving and doing for those that can't do for themselves. So, and I say that like with a little bit of hesitancy because most men don't go into professions like that. That's usually a woman's profession, but we're finding more men coming into the profession of helping, and that's not to diss men at all, but it's just men have typically from the beginning of time have been like the breadwinners, and they do something that's very strong, and they bring home the bacon, and the women are the ones that go and they help and they take care of people. So that could be in the field of social work. It could be in the field of medical. It could be a teacher.
Psychology by any chance?
Psychology, yes. Something where you are helping those that need it. That's where you're destined to go. But yes, the Ace of Wands reversed is the next card. And what that says is that you're really struggling with taking the action on the idea. For whatever reason, there is something that is just it's like it's cock blocking you.
Everyone applause, come on.
Now I can actually explain all of that.
Our guest just said cock block live on air. It wasn't live us.
Yes. I don't talk much about this, but I have an injury, and I can't go back to normal work, and I used to do like physical labor. And I'm working through a government agency to go into work. I was going to go into psychology. I was going to go to college. But financially, everything got too stressed, and I changed paths to go into clerical work, which I'm supremely apt for, apparently. But I'm also really apt for psychological work and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I changed my course because of the fact that I couldn't do it financially. And everybody that I worked with at that time was telling me, don't do this, go to school.
Yes.
And I decided to end the school thing and went in the opposite direction. So now instead of helping me go to school, they're helping me go to clerical, which I've been very hesitant about.
Yes.
And I don't feel like would be a great fit, but financially, I feel like that was the best decision in the end.
Yes. So, and you probably did make the best decision for your family right now. So there are ways that you can go to school in the field of helping and psychology and have that education paid for. And I can give you that information afterwards, since I also went to school for social work. There is a component, the psychology component of it, that you can do. And as long as you agree to work for a mental health agency for the years that they paid for your college will be paid for. So I can talk with you about that afterwards and give you the information to look at, because I think that's what you're supposed to be doing.
My entire life I've been told I'm basically a therapist who doesn't get paid, because I'm really good at listening and understanding and then realizing what people are saying and reading it back to them. and I've helped people through certain things every once in a while. And the thing is I always felt comfortable doing that because I'm mostly a talker and a listener. Well, I'm not mostly a talker. I like to listen more than talk. But when I do talk, I don't necessarily like to talk to people about their problems unless I feel it's important or in some way will affect. And so I've always been told I should pursue psychology, which is why I wanted to pursue it in the first place. But when I looked at the financials of a therapist, I got hesitant and I stopped. And I got I got worried that it wouldn't be worth the time from everything I looked at. And so I thought that the debt I would take on, the wasted time, and so I got really scared and worried and dropped out.
Well, maybe there's going to be some finances in your future.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe something's going to open up and provide finances.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You never know. But I want to, give you that information.
You know, and I don't really think that this show would be complete unless Jay himself got a reading. We have two out of the three to be able to do it. And I'm pretty sure that our vanishers, the ones that we love, the ones that we rely on, you know what? They want to see this as well. And so I really think that Jay should do it.
I'll even help you with the thing you can ask.
Come on, Jay.
You can ask about the show.
I don't want to, guys, I don't want to know. It's not that I'm scared. I sincerely don't want to know. I just don't. I don't want to know about the future. I like to work and get my things done. I like to set goals but not make plans. And that's the difference between me and you guys. It's not that I'm not a little bit curious. It's that I already have enough on my plate and I don't want to know. I'm a pragmatist. Sorry, guys. Love you. Now, I know that Hoover joined. I think Hoover should get a reading. Come on, David. Where you at, buddy? I know you're watching. I saw you come into the chat. And I love you too. Where you at? All the way in Pennsylvania. Our buddy David is here somewhere. Yeah. Oh, I think
Bridgets. Oh my God!
Guys, it's not that. No.
How good pressure? Like, will your knee give out eventually?
Just something mundane. Come on.
I know my knee gave out already. I don't need more information on my busted knee. I already know it's gone.
Nice deflection.
All right, well, I'm going to give him this one a back off because I'm horribly skeptic and don't want to do things. Let me have taken the bullet for him on this one, as I never do these
skeptic
things.
And just got all the information you ask, and that's why I don't want to do it, because I know I don't want to know the answer.
What's the old saying? Be careful what you ask for, or be careful what you wish for, because you don't want to know.
Also, the best part about surprises in life is that, and no slight on any readings. If you guys want readings, it's good. It's good therapeutic stuff. It's great. And obviously tonight, wow.
You've been on
every one of them. And that's why I don't want to know. Okay, so the point is, guys, for me, a little bit of surprise is a nice thing. Because I've had not the easiest life. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there right now. Neither is Jack. And I am a sensational pessimist. It's kind of the Irish in me that just takes over and just, everything's bad, everything's going to crap. But work hard through it, and when something good happens, you feel better about it. So my way of doing things is the way to keep my psychology in check.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Totally.
That's why I don't do this stuff. Because when I was younger, I used to read rune stones. My mother used to do tarot. We were into this stuff. I used to do palm readings at my high school in the cafeteria. I don't want to know. I've seen too many things happen. I've seen too much accuracy out of things, and tonight was awesome. At least it was all pretty much good news. The next time she's back, though, it might not be so good.
You know, I want to say thank you. That was amazing, and everybody in chat who was willing to ask questions. That was way more intimidating than I thought.
You know, I know, guys. I know we are far over our hour, but again, the upside about being the owner of the show is we can keep going if you guys have more questions. If you're down to answer a couple more questions,
absolutely. Yeah.
If there's any more questions, guys, shoot them out. And then I'm gonna read the calendar of events. If you have a question, shoot it out now. If not, we'll end the show.
Okay.
And then we'll plan for the next visit because we gotta have you back.
Yes.
Awesome,
guys. Thank you guys. Thank you for
You've
having
taken
me
some
on.
skeptics and turned them into believers.
Don't forget to check her out at Mystic Rose Tarot on Facebook.
And we will be linking that as soon as the show is done. And again, we'll be on YouTube so you can watch it back. If you guys didn't catch the whole show, you have to go onto YouTube tomorrow and watch it from the beginning and watch all of it, especially even if you've seen it. Bridget, Aaron, guys, everybody at the readings, go back and watch it again. That was freaking awesome.
Okay, well, Em wants to know if the next year will be good for her.
Next year. Okay.
And don't be nice because she's my mom. Just be great. She's used to that.
It's just going to be all the
and then we'll do.
Hey, that's messed up, bro.
I think that's what she anticipates: the Fool, the Death card, and everything that's terrible in those moments.
Well, she already has you.
We're still trying to figure out the pizza thing for Paco.
Hey, I just love pizza. I mean, we share the same passion for pizza.
Maybe
so.
that means you're supposed to go on a camp out or like a
Proposing in a pizza parlor.
Sorry. Yes. Pizza brother with crickets.
Hold on.
Better than
Crickets?
cicadas.
I have a soundboard item for that.
Aaron.
Hey, Aaron, you spelled that wrong. There's 2 S's.
Just going to count on our reading. That's great.
It was tough. It was intimidating. Like, I didn't think it would be, but it felt oddly intimidating. And I'm usually good at just jumping into things.
It's not your turn now.
Okay, so I pulled the 7 of Wands reversed, the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and the 3 of Wands reversed, M. And so I think that this next year is gonna hold some challenges. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. So there's gonna be a sense of feeling like you're having to defend yourself against I don't know which is oh, okay.
Don't read that.
Okay, we'll leave that.
Yeah, don't worry about chat.
Okay.
I'll read you the questions. That way you can avoid more unpleasant.
A feeling like that you're having to defend yourself against others that might be coming at you from all directions. The Ace of Pentacles for me in this particular reading is different. What I'm kind of focusing on is it's like a ferret or something. Yeah, it's like a ferret and a goose hybrid. There's a weird little animal in there. And it seems to be kind of like looking over its shoulder, and the bird is trying to take flight, but it's not. So I guess that kind of goes with the feeling like you're on the defense. There's going to be a sense of wanting to take action, wanting to do something, but then also like feeling like you're having to look over your shoulder. And I'm not quite sure if you understand what that means, because I'm not quite sure why that would be the case, but that's what I'm picking up on. And then the 3 of Wands in this particular reading is telling me that you need to travel. So if there is a trip that you have been wanting to take, a place that you've wanted to go, this is the year to start planning for that. I'm kind of sensing that there's like a longing to go somewhere, maybe overseas, maybe on a boat, like maybe a cruise or something. I'm not quite sure, but this is the year to start planning for that. So there's, yeah, it's not just they don't all just kind of speak to one issue. There's kind of a couple of different things going on there, but maybe you know what it's talking about. Does reverse mean the opposite meaning, or what is the significance of the position? Okay, so that's a really good question. Reversals can be read as an opposite. Because I'm an intuitive reader, I will sometimes read it as the opposite if that's what makes sense in the reading, but sometimes I will pick out something in the card that speaks to me more. And so sometimes depending on the reading, it might be something negative, it might be the opposite, it might be a challenge, a barrier. So there's a few different things, but it's not always the opposite, although some people read it always as an opposite. So all readers can be a little different. It's a good, really, really good question.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that because
Yeah.
I would think that I would know that at some point. I probably did, but it's been forever. So, all right. Is there any other questions, or should we do the calendar of events and then perhaps end the show?
Well, maybe just do the calendar while we're waiting on the question.
We'll do the calendar. More questions pop up. If not, then it's all good. Oh, Em wants to know what your take on the paranormal, ghosts, spirits, werewolves, etc.
Just don't mention Dogman.
we don't talk about the Goose Goblin.
So I'm a believer. I have had personal experiences with ghosts and spirits. I've had visions and people come to me and speak to me in my dreams. I've had experiences throughout my entire life that have led me to believe. So, and my Sweetie Pie has a little side paranormal investigation business. And so we go out and sometimes I'll do a little mediumship kind of a thing out in these areas that we go to. Werewolves. I have a whole theory about werewolves, but I don't need to get into that right now. But that's a whole nother.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome! You should
do a werewolf show.
Do a werewolf episode.
Dude, we can be here as long as you want to do this. As long as you want to stay, we'll go. People still engaged. I have no problem going long on it. So
yeah. But seriously, that really is a huge other topic. Werewolves are extremely interesting, and there's like a psychological component to werewolves.
If we do one, we'll need her on it because we suck at anything that's werewolf.
You guys know I've recorded 4 werewolf shows,
and they've never aired.
They have not, because they were going to be saved for something special.
What do you think guides your hand, spirits, the universe? So I'll get to Aaron's question. Because that's going to take me doing some reading here. But Bridget, what do you think guides my hand, spirits, the universe? You know what? I really don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I could say it is the Holy Mother, Buddha, whatever that's guiding my hand. I don't know. All I know is it does. And it's gotten more and more intense the more I've done it. So I don't know. I wish I could answer that question. Okay, how's my anxiety going to be this month? Bridget. Oh, Aaron. I was holding back on the question because it was too negative. Aaron, you might be a little bit of a control freak. And so I'm seeing, I have the King of Cups and the Magician. And the Magician, as soon as I saw it, it was like control. So there's a couple of things here that oh, isn't that silly? That's what I pulled. That's ridiculous. How embarrassing. How unprofessional.
Spirit world, Aaron. The spirit world just, I don't know.
Mm-mm.
You need instructions, Aaron. That's what that means.
It keeps her in control.
Yeah, maybe if you've ever been interested in a reading, maybe that's a sign that you should get a deck. Interesting. It's like I keep getting pulled, but I can't focus on any of the cards. So let's just see here. So we have the King of Cups, we have the Magician, and we have the Strength cards. We have 2 major Arcana cards. So a couple of things just right off the bat. Your anxiety is is partially because you do definitely try to control situations. You're a very strong person, but they're both major arcana cards, which means that a lot of things are beyond your control. You have to let go. And that's just purely what I'm getting from these cards right here, is that they're saying, loosen up your grip on what's going on. There are some things that the universe just has, it just has plans for you. You know, we make these little decisions, but the universe always has a way of like, pat, get back on the path that you're supposed to be on. So the King of Cups is a very relaxed card. So I'm getting a sense that either something is already starting to happen. Maybe your awareness of your anxiety is getting better. Maybe you're starting to control your anxiety a little bit more. But I'm getting the sense that it's not going to be too bad, that you're actually going to find some relief from it and in some enjoyment. And so if I were you, I would spend some time underneath the stars. Maybe just at night, just have some alone time and enjoy the night sky and being outside for a little bit, maybe every night to help relax and help you sleep. All three cards happen to have stars now that I'm looking at it, and show like the universe and the night sky. So I'm seeing that that is something extremely important for you this month, is to be out into the night sky as much as possible.
Which really isn't a bad thing. I mean, that's one of my pastimes I enjoy myself.
Is like stargazing.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
My only advice to Aaron is don't do it because you're in Chicago.
Aaron, my advice is don't go to bachelor school without friends. Again, darling, we love you.
We need you here. Please don't wander Chicago.
Yeah. Maybe
Bridget
don't
straight up said, "Yo, no, she's a control freak." And no, Aaron did say
You're
that,
welcome.
you know, she had a reading before and something bad was said, and it came about. And this is one of the reasons I don't do readings. Ever.
Well, it didn't cause it to happen. Well, I mean, actually,
No, but I don't want to
to,
know.
that leads to a question. I mean, there's something I was reading. I can't remember what this article was, and it was someone who did tarot readings. They were explaining that sometimes when people see these in the cards, it's not that it was going to happen. It's that they showed up in the first place, asked the question, and then they started changing paths, and it put him in the path of the thing that was going to happen in the first place.
Oh, absolutely. I think that as a reader, one of the things that you really have to be careful of is giving people a predictive reading, like, I'm telling you your future. This is what's going to happen. You have to be really careful because life and our future is liquid. So what your future is in this moment could be totally different 5 minutes from now, based on decisions that you make, based on thoughts that you have. It's constantly changing. So yes, these cards are reading, they're like a snapshot in time, right? Like, okay, right in this moment, this is what we're seeing. But you could make decisions that could totally change the outcome of your life and what's going to happen. And if you read these cards like, oh, Emily told me I'm going to go to a party on Saturday night and I'm going to meet the woman of my dreams, you're going to go to that party looking for the woman of your dreams. So as a reader, be really careful before you say that to somebody, especially if you don't have a long history of being right. Then you can tell people things that might not be true and cause, either cause you to look like you don't know what you're talking about, or cause things to happen that necessarily weren't going to happen.
Like a Pavlovian response. You convince yourself of something, and so even if you don't know it, deep down, deep-rooted, you're triggering certain sequences that cause you to think a certain way.
So it's like one of the reasons people say, well, people who read tarot are often vague. Well, I think I understand why you would have to be vague, because you say, well, you're going to go to that party that night. That person got invited to 3 parties. Mm-hmm. And the natural order of things would have had them going to the right one based on situations. But because you said that, now all of a sudden they have to choose. And there's 3 different chances, or there's 1 chance or 2 chances they're going to be wrong, 1 chance they'll be right. And now they're having to choose on their own instead of just following what's necessary.
Oh, sure.
The human element.
The only times when I get really, really specific with people is if the reading causes me to. And sometimes, like when I touch people's hands, I'll see things very specific. Like I touched a girl's hand and I saw Las Vegas. And so I told her, I'm seeing Las Vegas. She's like, holy shit, I just got invited to go to Las Vegas next week, but I wasn't going to go. And I was like, I think you should go. It's just like, I'm going to go now. And so, you know what I mean? It's like this, but normally I wouldn't just like read into this like, oh, this looks like Disneyland. I think you should go to Disneyland. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to try to be really careful. That way you give people more opportunity to find what they need to find in it rather than like spoon feeding their fortune to them, if that makes sense. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
It does.
Yeah.
So let's get to our calendar of events. And if you guys have questions, we'll hit them up afterwards. So next week we have Lenore Bjork from Sweden. She's a medium and a psychic, empath, sensitive. And she's going to come on the show. Yeah, she's pretty cool. We talked to her at length, and she actually got a hold of us through our buddy Joel Cavan over there at the, what was that there, Jack? Virginia.
You're going to make me say this. Virginia Beach Supernatural Research Society.
Boom. Joel, come on, man. Can't you find an easier thing to say? We're dying here, brother. We love you, but come on. No, anyway, she's going to be on the show, or she's going to be calling the show in from Sweden, and she's going to talk about her experiences, which she has quite a few. And then we might have a guest on the 19th, but on the 26th, we have Jordan from the Nighttime Podcast going to come on and talk about Oak Island. And this guy, if you haven't listened to the Nighttime Podcast, he's on Spotify, the iTunes thing. Go find him. The guy is the nicest dude in the world. He's actually cool enough to call in from friggin' Nova Scotia.
That is
He's going to call in. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's got a great show, and he's going to tell us all about Oak Island, which I've always been intrigued with since I ever heard about it, but he actually knows a ton about it. It's going to be super awesome. The guy's the nicest dude in the world. I
just got called captain, and I have a horrible feeling this is going to stick.
He wants us to stick. That's why. He likes it.
There's that change. You should be a pirate. You can help people.
Em asked us to type in the
we're gonna link her page to our Facebook page. Guys, don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Helps us a lot. And check out our YouTube channel because that really boosts us up. Because guys, this is not cheap. So the more you help us, the more we can give you great, good content.
Where's the sad song from the puppy commercial when they want you to like donate to puppies and stuff? That Arms of the Angel.
No, we don't know that every time we do this. I am not paying BMI.
I just hear that song in my head just rolling over and over again.
No McLaughlin songs.
Puppies.
Throwing 33 cents.
No. You too can get your podcast now with lawsuits. Guys, also, we have a Patreon page still, and I'll eventually upload content to that. We are making stickers. Someone donated a device for us to cut stickers out with. Those are in the works.
I know if
we can figure it out. You know, that's a question you should ask. How do I make cuts on that machine?
Bridget and Aaron are very good at making me laugh at inappropriate times.
That's usually the case.
That's what they do.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. So, do you have a Twitter account?
Hold on.
Oh, what?
I don't.
One more reading? Okay. Em wants one more reading, please.
Okay.
She says.
All right, Mom. What would you like to know?
30-second delays.
Well, what is your Twitter account while we're waiting on the question?
I do not have a Twitter account.
Okay.
I do not tweet. I don't know what I would say on Twitter that would be interesting enough to follow.
I just started tweeting and it's still...
I have the same mindset as you.
I did recently for the show.
So smart.
And he's got nothing to say.
It is. I mean, there's not much because they only give you X amount of things to say and like letters, and then that's it.
Oh,
we have another friend coming on
that's
to ask
a
a question on M's.
Okay.
Keith, yep.
Just a Facebook account.
Which is more than enough because, guys, you need to get in touch with her and ask her some more stuff.
You know, I can't
wait to have you back on the show.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm very excited.
We mentioned her Facebook account. What is that?
Mystic Rose Tarot.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
making you mention it over and over.
Welcome to the show.
You missed his tears behind his sunglasses. Paco was crying behind those glasses. He was. I could see the tears. I could see it welling.
All right, I'm just going to say I disagree with that.
Down his mustache. There were tears of joy. There were tears. There were tears of self-discovery. I think we all learned something today.
Did you have something to say? I wasn't sure. I was like, I was trying to lip read. I'm really bad.
I'm just saying I love Oak Island.
Oh
yeah.
And you guys, you can't see him, but
No, I'm
he's on the
Little
side.
side guy. Yeah, Oak Island's amazing.
And I think Paco's name should be Grasshopper.
That way, if you try to grab things out of my hand, I have a reason to hit you.
Yeah.
We're having a sound issue, it looks like.
Check your sound. Check.
That
Check.
That show was great.
Oh,
Check.
Who was that?
Check.
Is that
That's
Check.
not
No, it's not TV.
No,
I don't think
no.
TV will actually be back
Tripod Billy, as much as I love him, he is
Yeah.
not on the show
No.
ever.
again. Hey, did you end up mentioning what number show this was?
This is our 30th episode.
30th
Our 30th episode ever.
our 30th episode ever.
Our 30th episode ever.
Ever. 30th ever. 30th sounds better.
It kind of does, actually.
It does. 30th episode
it.
ever.
30th.
I like it.
All right, Em, where's that question? Come on,
We're waiting
Em.
for the specific person
Time
to
is
come on
money.
to ask
None
it.
of us have any of it.
And I have a feeling I know maybe what the question is, but we'll wait and see here.
Yeah, I'm not like coming into this today. Like I wasn't really like a firm believer in all of this, the tarot card reading stuff, and
Yeah.
everything. But I gotta say, it was really interesting to
Go for it,
see
Keith.
everything that happened today and everything.
Yeah,
And so,
it is,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I probably just put words in your mouth because you didn't actually say you enjoyed it. But I'm glad.
Don't
I'm
forget
glad
we
that
have
it
a
was
30-second delay.
Okay.
All right,
Ava,
Keith, ask a
let's
question.
Ask your guest to read me. Okay. Here, there. Ask.
Ask what?
Hi,
Jeez.
Keith.
Oh, Amanda.
Where's the elevator music when we need it?
I think we need Jeopardy.
Close enough. There you go. How is the next year going to be for me? Asks Keith in chat.
How is the next year going to be for me? Okay, Keith.
We got you, Keith.
Now remember to open up and just, relax and let yourself into the universe, I guess. I don't know.
Look at you.
Release your energy, I guess.
Yeah.
It works
like
for me.
I'm
relaxing.
loving this right
What have you
now.
done to him?
It's a whole new content.
Non-believer.
I'm just
Touchy hoodoo.
Hey, maybe we can actually get into the Ouija board now.
You are not getting me doing that. Unless,
right.
that is not something I'm sailing on. Oh my god.
Justice. You going to court, Keith? All right, that's it. Just one card. And it's the Justice card. So this could mean a couple of things. It could be that that you are going to court. Maybe you have like something that you were, I don't know, going to court for. I don't know. But it also could mean just a balance in this next year. Oh God, I hope not. Yeah. So we'll just skip right over the whole court thing. But I mean, it could literally mean that, but it could also just mean a balancing out, a return of what you've put out, if that makes sense. So almost like to bail me out, like karma. So that's all it's giving me. It's not giving me a whole lot for you. So I would maybe, watch the Justice League. I don't know. Just really, maybe it's gonna be a really good movie for you this year. But just I would focus in on balancing. If you catch yourself investing too much energy into one thing, and you start to feel yourself kind of like tugging and pulling, like, I feel like I might be giving too much, you probably are. So try to reel it back in and keep yourself balanced at all times. Don't give yourself too much in any one area this year. and it's a major arcana card. So this is going to be, I'm seeing it as a year of balance, learning. I know she says, okay. Yeah, it's super vague. You're welcome. It's the end of the night, Keith. What can you
The spirits have gone to bed.
Yes. Night night.
Those must shelve.
I think she could definitely ask you maybe more direct questions or something like that on your site, and
absolutely
probably get a better answer.
I mean, after you've done so many, you do kind of get a little bit like, you know.
It's going to take a lot out of you, energy transference and whatnot, because
like being a conduit.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like being a conduit. You're taking so much energy and putting so much out that you just wind up burning out slowly.
Yeah.
Capacitor. Conduits are different. But yeah.
Flux capacitor.
I think she had one more question. It was how about her youngest son? I wonder about his I think she wondered about his year or how about
Can you ask on behest of someone else? Does that work that way?
You know, you can. It's not always recommended because they're not here. And so you're kind of giving information on behalf of someone that hasn't given their consent to have that information passed on. Is your son a minor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Then let's try it. I've done it for babies before. It's really kind of a trip.
One thing real quick, with our laughter guys, we got to tone it back. Looks like we're having, because we're so not used to that thing being so close now.
Totally. And I have a really loud cackle, so I'm sure it's not helping.
It's probably me and him because we laugh so freaking loud when we do.
Excuse me. Keith's son. My mind is on him. Well, I hope your son's not going to court. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I hope that was funny.
We're hanging out with us too much.
Picking up anything. Keith, I am so sorry. I'm not picking up anything for your son, and it could be a couple of reasons. It could be because I've utilized all the energy that I have for the night, and I need to take a break and come back. And normally, when I do multiple readings like this, I have little breaks in between where I cleanse my energy and I doodle-a-doo, and I haven't done that, so it could definitely be my bad. It could also be because he's not here. He hasn't asked for the question. So it could be some weird voodoo thing where the universe won't allow me to read for someone that's not present and hasn't asked for the question themselves. But I would like for you, because usually when we're asking on behalf of someone else, especially a child of our own, it's because that we have a concern. And so maybe what we can do is maybe later on, maybe in a couple of days, message me on my Facebook account and I'll do the reading for you after I've cleansed, and maybe we can try it again, because I hate saying I can't do it.
Throw out your Facebook again.
Mystic Rose Tarot.
That's what it is. Goodness.
Oh, guys, that was friggin' awesome.
It was a really
that
good
was
time.
much more than I anticipated.
We really do
together
appreciate
at all.
thanks.
That was great. So we'll have to have you back on soon.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For
That'll
sure.
be
Thanks,
friggin'
guys.
awesome. And guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for your likes,
Thank
follow,
you.
subscribes, your shares. Don't forget to check out her page, Mystic Rose Tarot,
Absolutely.
and tell everybody about her, because you saw some things tonight that I don't even want to try to explain.
I was shocked.
These two guys, these knuckleheads,
I
were
was
totally
openly shocked. It's cool.
They were taking it back. They were taking a back seat.
It's definitely making me rethink something I'm going to be having to do.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much,
Of
guys, for
course.
having me on
Hey,
the show. I
no
really
problem at all.
appreciate
That was the coolest.
That
It
was
was
so
awesome.
much fun.
Absolutely.
I really
We're
enjoyed
just glad you showed up and was here for this, and
Yeah.
we're here for this. This is the greatest thing. We're here.
Absolutely.
We're still not done yet. But, guys, as always, check out Caught in the Studios, because Jason Glenn makes some great stuff. Any other?
I did.
Oh.
Steve needs to go home.
You know what, guys? You know what? I got to say this right now. The the community at large and our little caveat of the 40 and the unexplained, we lost a giant this week. On Wednesday, Jim Mars passed away. And if you don't know who he is, go check him out on Google.
Get out of
Read
the
some
rock
his
and
books. He's a conspiracy theorist, author, and just it was a great loss. So prayers for him and his family. Guys, we'll see you next Saturday right here on Vanishing Gates. As always, I'm your host, Jay, and this is...
Oh, it's me this time.
yeah, you.
Yeah,
Paco.
And
Captain Jack.
do your thing. Do your thing, Jack.
Goodbye, everybody.
Love you.
Hit the button. Hit it.
Bye, Banishers.